Woo! Let's get it. This is Eternal Underground Production. Shout out in the zone, baby. I know what it is, man. You're now tuned in to the Hodge Podge Sports Show with a picks on target sharper than Katniss Everdeen with a crossbow. Before you place a bet, let's check with Patrick and Sean first. Unless your aim is that, highly advised. Check the stores right here. Forget the mother stations, we got you covered. Don't waste your time. Ain't no need to straddle the fence. Now you can take a side with competition where you think a gazelle can take a line. If you in opposition, just listen. That will change your mind. This is where you catch him right here. And every show a banger like Ray Lewis at the quarterback. I don't perform, you got a topic, well, we'll address it. But don't come on here talking that nonsense and don't know nothing. No hesitation, get put in your place. End the discussion. Ain't no shit coating over here, keep it 100. Got a question, we gon' come with the answer like Irishman. If you ain't know then, you know now just what time it is. Sean, reppin' the city, your brotherly love. Finishing up Super Bowl 52 champions. Baltimore in the building. Make some noise for his pack. Got Charm City on his back. Putting on for the life. Cal Ripken Jr. back with the Orioles. And he's 4 rebounded dollars. This knowledge room, he's common skill. Follow it, shout out to you. Without you, this ain't possible. You rock with us, we rock with you. I love for us, I love for you. Much love to the fan base and follow the fan base. It's deeper than sports talk. It's something like family. Ever and be more. Let's get you a crab cake. Oh, you in Philly, say less. Grab you a cheesesteak. Now run and tell the sports fanatics that you know online. www.ngscsports.com. Yeah. Let me say that again one more time. That's www.ngscsports.com. Yeah. Y'all know what time it is, man. HBS. Time it is. Let's get it. You're tuned in. Cause sports breed passion. Ain't no better place to let it out than NGSG Sports, where we never stop.
What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, Sean James Harrison, riding solo tonight. And you know, as always, as every weekend comes and every weekend goes, we have a lot to talk about. Nothing's changed. Nothing will ever change as long as sports is here. We're going to have something to talk about, plain and simple. And maybe it's a blessing, maybe it's a curse. But hey, this is what, you know, people come. That's what people want to hear. That's what we're going to talk about always. We are going to get into we are going to get into a lot today. We're going to talk about Carson Wentz versus Deshaun Watson, the scenarios between the two of them, and how they're different and how they're the same. We're going to talk about NBA heavy tonight with who I think the current MVP is and who's on the running along with that person and who I think is going to win the NBA championship and all the fun awards that go with that. Also want to talk about the All-Star game a little bit tonight, amongst other things. If you want to call in and participate, the number is scrolling at the bottom right here. Y'all can't see it. It's right there. Just keep on going. 712-770-4160. Then hit that pin for 576-041 pound. If you don't hit that pound, you're not going to get in. I'm not going to see you on the board. I'm not going to bring you on. But before we get started and to really get rolling, I got to go around here and pay some bills first. First bill I got to pay. The Hodge Podge Sports Show is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? Let's get it started here. And I'm going to start with the NFL. And almost like I said, if anybody wants to call in, anybody wants to chime in, please, numbers below again, 712-770-4160. The pin is 576-041. Make sure you smash that pound. Get in. Come talk to me. Come ride with me for a little bit. Say what you got to say. Argue with me. Debate with me. Whatever you want to do. First and foremost, I want to talk about how happy, I'm going to say this again, how happy I am that Carson Wentz finally got traded to the Indianapolis Colts. As everybody knows on this page, if you don't know yet, I am a diehard Eagles fan. And I'm also a diehard Carson Wentz fan. I hope that Carson Wentz finds, I'm going to say, happiness where he is now back with Frank Reich, where with Frank Reich, he was able to have that magical 2017 season before getting injured, where there was no doubt in anybody's mind that he was the MVP before he did get injured. So hopefully now that he is with Frank Reich, he can return back to that MVP form. That's really going to be up to him, and he's got to get his mistakes down and all that. But I think it's a perfect situation for him to get back on track and be back where he needs to be in order to be successful. And I think he is going to be successful with the Colts. I really, really, really dislike the way that the Philadelphia organization handled the entire situation from start to finish, from the way that they drafted Jalen Hurts to the second overall pick. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that even was a question, that you wasted the number 2 pick last year on Jalen Hurts when you had so many other pressing needs on the team. As you saw from the team last year, they were struggling on the offensive line, a wide receiver, linebacker, cornerback. I mean, every position outside of defensive line, that team was really, really hurting. And it's a real shame that I don't want to say that pick was wasted, but it was overall wasted. And the second they picked it, you knew that Jalen Hurts was going to be the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward. And I said it to my running mate Patrick Hodge that Jalen Hurts was going to start and finish the season, and Carson Wentz was going to be traded. And it's a real shame that it all happened the way that it did. But I mean, you can see towards the end of it that Carson Wentz had a real disconnect with the fans and the city of Philadelphia at the end of the career. You can tell by the lackluster goodbye message that he sent to everybody. Didn't seem very heartfelt. Didn't really seem like he had a lot of love into it. And like I said, I really just hope that with Frank Reich, he not only finds happiness in Indianapolis, but I want them to win. I want Indianapolis to win with Carson Wentz, just so Howie Roseman gets fired. And everybody that wants to scream, as Patrick likes to remind everybody that wants to scream at how we trust, I want you guys to look back at his last 6 or 7 drafts, and you tell me and how we trust. We can talk about how we can manipulate the cap. That's fine and dandy. But when it comes to evaluating players, bringing players in, and actually being an actual full GM, Howie Roseman is not the answer. And I don't know if he's got some naked pictures of Jeffrey Lurie or what, on how he keeps this job and how he continues to mess up year in and year out. He's the only GM that I can remember that has now gone through 3 coaches and still has a job. And everybody's going to say, what do you mean he went through 3 coaches? Well, it started with Andy Reid. Then he went to Chip Kelly. Now Doug Peterson. I mean, realistically, this is his 4th, because now we're on Nick Sirianni. So now it's 4 head coaches that Howie Roseman has gone through, and Jeffrey Lurie's still looking around trying to figure out who to point the finger at. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous if you ask me. I do see that Big Lou's on the line. Lou, how you feeling tonight, man?
Okay, I'm good.
You're good. That's awesome, man. I'm right now. I'm just spitballing here about Carson Wentz. I'm gonna hit the Deshaun Watson in a second. What is your overall feeling of Carson Wentz being traded to Indianapolis?
Well, he wasn't really happy where he was, so I think it's going to benefit both teams. I mean, he felt snubbed after losing on the Super Bowl and got replaced, and I think ever since then he has felt like he belongs there. So I think it's a smart move. I don't know if he's going to do give Indy a chance for a championship, but he's working with Frank Reich again, so that might provide a little bit more comfort for him.
Yeah, well, no, let's not forget that Indianapolis was a playoff team last year. They were 10-6 last year with a 93-year-old Phillip Rivers. I mean, now they're getting a younger, stronger, faster version of Phillip Rivers. And I think as long as Carson Wentz stays healthy, that offensive line out there is really good, so they're going to protect him well. They have a decent run. They have a really good running back in Marlon Mack. Their receivers aren't too shabby with Pittman and T.Y. Hilton. So I'm definitely really interested to see how he progresses with that team, especially with being Frank Reich. But we're going to move on, and I want to go to Deshaun Watson now. And I want to talk about how Deshaun Watson seems to basically not be getting what he wants, and that is ultimately a trade out of Houston. I mean, at first it was, a whole lot of smoke, and our resident Houston Texan fan Shane Harrison didn't want to believe that Deshaun Watson really wanted to be traded. Now, I'm going to say this before I continue. I do not feel bad for Deshaun Watson and his current situation because he signed a contract with them after they traded DeAndre Hopkins. So it's really hard for me to feel bad for somebody when you're already in a bad situation and you sign an extension. So who are we really got to blame here? I mean, we could sit here and talk about how Deshaun Watson is a player. We want to be pro player and all that, and that's fine. I'm all for being pro player and a player getting all the money he can. But in that same breath, Deshaun Watson signed a contract a month after, I don't say a month, maybe it was a couple weeks after they traded DeAndre Hopkins. So who's really at fault here? Where does DeAndre Hopkins have the right to complain about his situation? Go ahead, Lou.
I don't think he has the right to complain.
And I agree. I don't think he has a right to complain either. I think, the old saying, you made your bed, now you have to lay in it. He made this bed. He's the one that created the situation he's in. He didn't have to sign that extension. He could have been out of Houston. What is it? The end of this year or the end of last year? He could have been out of Houston.
End of this year.
End of this year, he could have been out of Houston. But now instead, you sign that 5-year extension. Now I'm not gonna say no because it happens in all sports where guys sign a contract and they don't own up to that contract. It happens in every sport. That's fine. But you just signed this contract in September. You knew what the team was going to look like. Bill O'Brien was already out the door. They already traded DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson and a bag of balls. So what realistically were you expecting from this team? He made his own bed, and now Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry, but if I'm Houston, I'm not trading you either unless somebody comes to me with an offer that I can't refuse. And I'm talking now. I've seen what the Rams traded for Matthew Stafford. Is it 2 first-rounders and a player? I expect at least that back from Deshaun plus another first round. If I'm being honest, I would want 3 first-rounders for Deshaun Watson's at least and a player. And nobody can move me on that. And I don't think anybody has the right. I don't think Deshaun has the right to sit here and complain about his situation anymore. I don't want to hear it. I'm honestly sick of it. He made the situation what it is, and for that, he now has to stay there. And if the owner is right in saying, why would I trade him? You don't trade franchise quarterbacks. It's not something that's done in the NBA in the NFL. So, what is left for him to do? That's the real question. He can sit there and he can hold out, but I don't think that's going to help him.
No.
Or he can man up and play with the contract until somebody actually trades him. So,
well, that's what I would have done.
So I mean, he's in an ultimately a no-win situation that he created for himself, and it is really hard for me to feel bad for him in the situation when, like I said, he created the situation himself. So, Lou, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, like you say, he made a mistake, but he's not confessing up to it, and now he's stuck, with no room to go. So he brought this on himself. So you got who's really the blame here? He is. He had the chance to do something better, and he screwed it up.
Yeah, and like I said, I want to feel bad for the guy. I really do, but it's very, very, very hard for me too.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna shift spots here. We're gonna move on. I want to get talking about the NBA. And Lou, what are your overall thoughts on the All-Star game?
Well, I've been kind of torn about it myself. Like, this is not a normal season, and I understand the players griping about it. But I think this is where you can. I think you should put your differences aside for this one game. About just go out there and make it a fun game because I think people would like to see the best players playing well in an All-Star game, even under the circumstances here. So I said let them do it, but I also get why the players have been rather against it this season, considering with COVID and the short schedule and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
All of the exhaustion they've go to. So it's really a tough call. I personally would like to see it myself.
Yeah, I mean,
but, I know how everyone's feeling.
I don't see the difference in the All-Star game versus the what they're doing now in the regular season. I truly don't. I think it's we can sit here and pretend like it's different, but it's not any different. I mean, they're just doing a spectacle now. I mean, the NBA is going to still want their money, and they're going to do the All-Star game no matter what, no matter if the players want to do it or not. I mean, they'll do an All-Star game with nothing but rookies. They don't care. They want the media money from it, plain and simple.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, without that media money, they have nothing. They need that media money. So it's very it's going to happen no matter what. I'm talking more along the lines of the players that have gotten in so far. I think it's kind of interesting that Trae Young didn't make it, being an Atlanta native. There's not a single Atlanta player in the All-Star game. And then when we figured out Kevin Durant wasn't playing, I thought for sure Trae Young was going to fill that slot. And instead they went with Sabonis to fill that slot. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if they went with Sabonis because it's forward for forward or what, but I can't even say they did that because in the West, when they figured out AD's not going to play in it, they went Booker. So with Trae Young averaging 27 points a game right now and 10 assists, and he didn't get the fill-in spot, it was Sabonis that got it in the East for Kevin Durant. It really makes you wonder was he, how far down on this list is he to make that All-Star game? Like, is he behind another player? Is Tobias Harris in front of him still? So, like, let's say, for instance, Ben Simmons gets hurt.
I think he is.
Let's just say Ben Simmons gets hurt today during this Cavs game. Does that mean I'm not saying I'm just saying what ifs here, right? If he gets hurt tonight during this, is Tobias Harris the next player that goes in, or is it Trae Young then? I find it very strange that you have an All-Star game in it. You have an All-Star game in Atlanta, and don't have a single player from Atlanta in it. And I'm sorry right now, it's 92-92 for the Sixers game, and it's last second shot for the Sixers. So I'm going to have to look up for 4 seconds. 3, 2, Joel for the win. Missing. Oh, Danny Green. Going overtime.
Okay.
Moving. Okay, so with that being said, I also find it quite interesting with the NBA on this with the All-Star game in general that they're going to do all the skills competition. They're going to basically do it all in one day. How long is this day? How long is this day going to be?
Well, you got the skills competition, and then the regular game, and summary game, then the summary game, All-Star, and the halftime show with the skills competition, then the finish of the game. So it's gonna take a few hours.
I mean, it's going to take 2 hours at least, right? A few hours. I mean, the game alone.
About 4.
The game alone is going to take 2.5, 3 hours. But then you have the slam dunk contest and the 3-point contest.
That's at halftime.
Oh, they're doing both that at halftime?
They're doing one of that before the game, one of that at halftime, and then of course you got the game.
Interesting. Very interesting. So I guess none of the players that are playing in the game are going to be a part of either one of them then.
Right. Which
is going to be strange in itself. I don't know.
It's a strange year.
Yeah, it's a very strange year. It's, it is, there's nothing more to say right now than it is what it is for, There's nothing really left to say. And it's even more interesting now. I'm going to just get off this because I can only beat the All-Star game to death so much because I think it's a popularity contest more than anything. Reggie Miller said it best the other night on the TNT broadcast.
The fans get involved.
Yeah, and I don't think the fans should be involved. I don't think the fans should account for 50% of the vote, to be honest. I think the coaches and the players should account for 75%, and the fans should vote for 25%.
Like I don't think that the owners and coaches should have more of a say in it, rather than the fans.
Yeah, it should be the coaches and the
fans now.
Exactly, the coaches and players should be voting these guys in to figure out who's an all-star and who's not, and then it should be the fans get like a 25%, less than that. Honestly, if I'm being real, I don't think the fans should be involved in it at all. I would because we've almost seen like Taco Fall was almost in the All-Star game 2 years ago. You had Caruso, it's a top 10 pick almost every year. I mean, these guys aren't even close to being All-Stars, but because they're quote unquote fan favorites, they're close to getting in. I don't need that. I'd rather just have the players and the coaches vote in these guys, and that's it. I don't need anybody else to do it. I want the people that are actually playing against these guys every night to pick.
Yeah.
So
the fans just want to make it a popularity contest.
But they
don't really concentrate on the stats and whatnot.
Yeah.
They just vote for
So here
they make their own categories. So I agree with you.
So here's the next question I got for you, Lou. If the season were to end right now, today, on February 27th, who is your NBA MVP?
I think I would still probably go with the others. I think Harden has done, one for the Nets, and I think he's going to be MVP. My second choice is going to be Booker.
Wow, you really went off the cuff there. I think this is Joel Embiid's to lose.
Oh.
Plain and simple. And people could sit here and say that I'm a homer as I lift up that 21 on my chest, but this is undoubtedly Joel Embiid's to lose. I don't think Joel Embiid would have to lose this. That's the only way that he is going to lose it. If he, God dang it, Ben, what are you passing cross court for? Oy vey. The only way Joel Embiid loses this is if he gets hurt for the rest of the year. I mean, the guy is averaging about 30 points a game. He's averaging over 10 rebounds a game. He's averaging, I think, a block and a half a game. He's one of the best rim defenders in the entire league. He's shooting the best mid-range jumper in the entire game right now. His three-point percentage is close to 40%. He's averaging more free throw attempts and free throw makes than anybody else in the league right now, and he's playing for the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. So I think it's going to be very, very, very hard for anybody to not pick Joel. It's going to be hard to pick LeBron right now because ever since AD got hurt, that team's fallen apart. For as good as LeBron is, it's very clear that team, obviously it was clear the year before AD got there too, that team needs AD.
Yeah, he can't win it without him.
No, he can't. And it's becoming very apparent.
That's like Brady trying to win without Gronk.
Yeah, I mean it's exactly what it seems to be, and it's been very apparent that this is Joel's to lose. He has the best numbers out of a big that we've seen since Shaquille O'Neal, and let's not joke about that one way or the other. Joel Embiid has been the best big man we have seen since Shaquille O'Neal, plain and simple, and he has done things on the basketball court that is at the center position that we've only seen Akeem Olajuwon do. And everybody's going to say, well, he misses too many games. He's missed 5 games this year, and that's it. 5 games. And the one game against Denver that the entire team missed, they should have postponed, that they didn't. Yeah, they played on anyway. So let's be real with the situation here, right? Joel Embiid has realistically missed 4 games this year. 4 games. He has better numbers than anybody in the league right now. In the words of He's got averaging more double-doubles than anybody in the league. He's averaging 30 points, like I said, right under 30 points. He's averaging over 10 rebounds a game. He's got the best mid-range jumper in the game. He's averaging 40% from three. And when he's hitting that jumper, he's almost unstoppable, right? We all know that. He's the most unguardable.
Yeah.
I would argue he's the most unguardable player in the league right now. Plain and simple. I don't think anybody can debate that with me. And if you would like to, like I said, the number is right below, 712-770-4160. That pin is 576041. Hit that pin if you want to get into the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying is that he's the most unguardable player in the league right now. And it is very hard. And that gets it down. And on to the second I say that, he hits an M1. He's the most unguardable player in the league. He's the biggest, the strongest player in the league right now. Before I continue, the Hodge Podge Sports Show is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app. Pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery, how you place your order. But yeah, man, like I'm saying, I think it is very, very, very hard to sit here and tell me that he isn't the best player in the league right now and he isn't the current MVP. And I guess the only thing that's going to stop him is being injured. Now, on the flip side, do I think the Sixers are the best team in the East? Meaning, do I think they're going to come out of the East to represent the East? Lou, I want you to say that answer one more time for me.
No.
Who do I think the best team in the East is?
Well, hopefully you'll say the Nets.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I guess I want you to answer first. You answer the question first.
Nets are on a hot streak right now. Even though they're doing the job they're doing without, even with their top players injured, they're finding ways to win. I mean, I'm surprised myself. I didn't expect them to be there well this year. You know, make the playoffs maybe, but not dominate the East. I think they're onto something here. Philly worries me a bit.
Philly wouldn't worry me if I was Brooklyn right now. I mean, Philly is your number one competition right now, yes. But I think when it's all said and done, I think Brooklyn is going to come out of the East, and it's going to probably be a 6 or 7 game series with the Sixers that gets them there. To be honest, I think it will be the Sixers versus the Nets in the finals. But right now, once those benches shrink and everything, my biggest thing with the Nets when they made the Harden trade was I said they traded too much of their bench away. But it seems like that kid they got from Detroit is really working out for them. And I'm very interested to see how he plays in the come on, Ben, finish that. I'm very interested to see how he plays in the playoffs and how many of their players actually they use in the playoffs, to be honest, because I mean, you got Josh Harris, Kevin Durant, oh my God, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, DeAndre Jordan, and after those 5, you got that kid from Detroit. I don't know who your 7 and 8 are. Usually you want 8 or 9 in the playoffs. That bench shrinks a lot. But I mean, you're talking about playing your 3 guys, close to like 40 minutes a game every single night for, 4 to 7 game series. I mean, that's exhausting, especially after running even though it's only 62 games, a 62 game season. I mean, that's exhausting. I mean, I'm more worried about Brooklyn's health in the end. Maybe they had some buyout players, but I mean, they can't trade anybody. They have no capital to trade for anybody, so they have to really hope that these buyout players want to come and play for them. They got to really hope maybe they can steal a Boogie Cousins, But it's gonna come on, Ben, make the free throw at the end of the game. They really got to hope that the buyout market is in their favor and they get these guys, these veterans that just want to come and play there just to win a title, and hopefully it gels properly. But I think getting James Harden was the best thing that Brooklyn could do because it forces the ball into James Harden's hands, and Kyrie Irving can play off the ball, which is I think what he's best at. And Kevin Durant doesn't need a ball in his hands to score 30 a night. He can score 30 a night without a ball in his hand. The thing I worry about as a Sixers fan when we play the Nets is I don't know who we have to guard all 3 of them. I know who we have to guard 2 of them, but it's that – yes! Or that didn't count. Are you kidding me? Sorry, I almost just cursed, but apparently it's a. Are you kidding me? My thing is, I know I have Ben Simmons to guard Durant. I know I have Matisse Thybulle to guard Harden or to guard Kyrie. My question is that third guy. I don't know if I can trust Danny Green to cover a third guy, and that's where I think the problem's going to lie for them. They're always going to have that one extra player that they have to guard. When on the flip, if you guard Embiid, I don't really know who else you have to guard. I mean, you can guard Embiid and Harris. You take those two out, and you really got to hope Ben is on. Which, as we've seen through Ben's entire career, he's been a very inconsistent player. So it's very it's very questionable to me that they're going to be able to run a gauntlet with the Brooklyn Nets. I hope I'm wrong, but I think at the end of the day, the Sixers just don't have enough. They're still a player or two short to compete with the Brooklyn Nets. And that should seal it for the Cavs. The Cavs should get this win now up 101-96 with a minute 17 left after they call it off a 3 for no reason. Which you should be happy. That should put your Brooklyn in first place if they win tonight.
Yeah, if they win tonight, but right now they're having trouble against Dallas.
Are they really? How's Harden looking?
Well, decent, but still, they're trailing Dallas by 6 right now.
They're trailing Dallas by 6?
Yes.
That's no bueno. What's Harden's numbers looking like?
I can't see it right now. Now it's up by 7. Now it's 9 points, and they I think it was a 3-shot foul. So Dallas getting 3 shots. Oh God.
Well, I don't think it really. Harden has 18 already. Oh my God. I don't think it really matters. I think I'm going to lose that bet because I don't think
we're both up the creek tonight, aren't we?
I don't think one. Yeah, but I mean, if you guys lose, it doesn't really hurt us at all. I want you guys to lose, but I also have I got a little parlay bet in that involves Brooke Allen getting 11 rebounds. He's been sitting at 9 this entire overtime period, and I need Harden to go off for 30. That's hearsay. You guys don't need to hear about my bets. So here's my next question to you, Lou. I'm going to flip the script. We're going to go from east to the west. Who do you think the best team in the West is, and why?
I'm going to say the Jazz. I mean, the Jazz have looked sharp, almost right from the get-go of the season. They're unstoppable. I mean, I think I'd be afraid to play them. That team is on all cylinders this year.
Imagine that.
I wish I could.
No, I'm just saying, like the Jazz. I actually agree with you. The Jazz, I think, are the best team right now, and I think they're the best team in the entire NBA. And they continue to show every single night that they that defense still wins games, right? They're playing that old school Jazz style basketball that we're so used to accustomed to ever since Stockton Malone, right? These hard-nosed defense pick and roll kind of games. But we've also seen that this style of play, you really missed a free throw. That this style of play doesn't work in the playoffs, right? We've seen this for years, right? Not working in the playoffs.
Well, I have.
I mean, come on, man. I'm not that young. I've seen it too. I think it's going to be. I'm very, very, very interested to see how this Jazz team is going to gel in the playoffs because like I said, we've seen this already. We've seen this for years not work when it comes to this pick and roll. Just like I've told everybody, but Mike D'Antoni, we've seen his style of offense not work for years, and all of a sudden we think it's going to work because he has James Harden. This is obviously prior, but that high octane high octane offense didn't work in Phoenix. What makes you think it's going to work here? But people still want to live on it because as long as you have a good regular season, right? That's all that seems to matter. Nobody cares about anything else as long as you have a good regular season.
Right.
But then in the long run, the playoff games are what should matter. And they've proven that they can't win in the playoffs. Both styles have proven that they cannot win in the playoffs. So now it's going to be a matter of can he get over the hump with it? That's going to be the overall question is can Utah play good enough defense and play this pick and roll and Donovan Mitchell keep going off. But I mean, I don't think it's possible because I think they're going to eventually hit that wall. I think the Lakers, once AD's back, is going to be able to get them. I think the Clippers are a joke. I don't think they have a shot personally. I don't think they really. I mean, playoff P is still yet to show up to the building. Kawhi Leonard hasn't looked the same since Toronto. It's very, very interesting out west, and I'm more curious than anything to see how that all folds up. So the Yankees as well. I don't know who this is, but I ain't going to share your comment. You ain't going to trash talk my Yankees like that. I think that's okay. Go take a seat. It's very I'm just very, very interested in the West more than anything. I think the East is a 2-horse race that we've talked about already between the Nets and the Sixers. When as for the West, I think you can have a plethora of guys come out of that and somehow win it. You can have anybody from the Clippers, Utah, even Portland. Like people forget about Dame time all the time. Portland come out. The Clippers, Lakers, not the Mavericks. Mavericks don't have a shot this year. Kristaps Porzingis is not the player the Mavericks thought they were going to get, and I wouldn't be surprised if they move him before the trade deadline. That's another thing that we can hop on as well. Is how poorly Dallas has played with Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, his whole career he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and health is everything, right? Your best ability is availability. I've heard some famous coach say that one time, right? And Kristaps Porzingis is just never available, and that'll be his flaw probably his entire career. And when they got, oh my God, Joel, when they got Kristaps, they thought they had a great 1-2 punch now with Luka and Kristaps, but instead they just got Luka by himself trying to play Batman the best he can. But every Batman needs his Robin, right? And it doesn't seem like they have a Robin for Luka. I mean, even I don't sure what Dallas can do before the trade deadline, but they need to figure out something to get at least one more player in there to help Luka out, because without one more player, that team is not going to win. That team needs that extra boost. That team needs somebody else that can sit next to Luka, score 20-something a night with them. And then if KP ever does really come back, it'd be a good third option for them. But I don't see Dallas making any noise in the West. They'll probably make the playoffs as a low seed. Same as Golden State, but Golden State does, they need Klay Thompson, and that's clear as day, right? Klay Thompson's the best defender. Klay Thompson is arguably he's the best defender on that team, and he's arguably the best two-way player in the entire league when he's healthy. But we haven't seen Klay healthy in 2 years now. But yeah, with basketball, we got the halfway point of basketball coming up. I mean, it is what we're going to really start finding out a lot about these players. We're going to start finding out what teams really start making moves, because moves are coming. The deadline is March 7th. That's a week and a half away. So we shall see where players start to fall.
How much time is there?
Not much time. Not much. I mean, what is it? Actually, I'm lied. You only got 28 days in February.
It's the All-Star game, isn't it?
What? Yeah. So
Go figure.
Lil, I'm gonna ask you what do you got on your mind, man? What do you want to talk about? It's completely open forum tonight.
Well, we haven't touched any of the college hoops, have we? No, we haven't.
No, we have not. Me being a Duke fan, it's been a very depressing year for me.
Duke, Kentucky's been bad too. This is the worst season since I think the 1950s.
That's how you know it's been bad basketball year, when you got Kentucky and Duke both playing bad.
Yeah. And over here on the Jersey side, I haven't much to cheer about either. I mean, Rutgers started out good, but since mid-January, they have fallen by the wayside. I mean, they're approaching the top 10, and then right from there, they just collapsed.
How so?
Well, they were high ranked. They were in the highest rank since 1976 up until about the second week of January, and they haven't done jack since.
Dang, that's a really long time. I mean, I think it's just I don't know, man. I have a rule. I don't trust kids, right? That's what one thing. That's one thing John Chaney got R.I.P. taught me, right? Don't trust kids because kids are gonna lose. Kids are gonna lose you games.
Yes.
And you know it's you know that's unfortunately the way it is. And when you play these games and you're relying on kids.
Mm-hmm.
And yet
So what's for that?
That's all kind. I mean, you know it's bad when you have Kentucky and Duke, you know, two of the highest touted schools in the entire country, and they're both playing bad. I think Duke's 11-8. I think they lost tonight, so they're 11-9. They're probably not even going to make.
I don't think they're going to make it.
They're not going to. They're probably not going to make the tournament. And I'm not even sure what Kentucky's record is, but I mean, if you're actively talking about it, it can't be any better, right?
No.
Duke lost 80-73. Like I said, they moved to 11-9. It's been really it's been very hard for me this year, opposed to other years, to get into college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very, very, very tough for me to try to really sit down and enjoy college basketball this year. Now, for whatever reason that may be, I'm not sure, but I just haven't enjoyed it this year as much as I have, in years prior.
Well, I think because everybody knew how messed up it's going to be, I think it made it harder to enjoy it.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. Well, Lou, do you got anything else, bud? Anything else you want to touch on?
See. Well, we also got spring training is starting tomorrow too.
That's right. Pitchers and catchers already reported they're earlier this week. So Wednesday, their pitchers and catchers reported. So you got spring training started. I think the real question is the league going to start on time?
Yes.
I haven't heard that yet. I haven't heard them sign the agreement on it.
I don't think they're going to delay the season. But they're already reporting to spring training. Why would they delay the season now?
I guess we'll find out. I mean, it's very easy because COVID. That's why you delay the season, right? For the same reason the entire country's been delayed, right?
Yeah, but if that were the case, I don't think they would start spring training now either.
Well, I don't know, man. I think it's very questionable that they play all games. The better question I have is, you're a Mets fan, right? Or no, you're a Yankees fan. That's right. You're a Yankees fan like me. You're a Yankees fan like me. No, well then never mind. Because I know. We both think our Yankees are going to win the championship every year, so no question there. Because I wanted to talk about the NL. Yeah, I want to talk about the NL East a little bit and think, and because that and the NL East is going to be really good this year, and it's not going to be. It's not like past years where the NL East is kind of straggling. I mean, Atlanta's going to be good. The Mets should be good. The Marlins made the playoffs last year, right?
Yes, they did.
And then you got the Nationals, who should be coming back this year with they have a new young guy in Juan Soto. So I'm very, very, very interested in watching the NL East race this year. I think the Phillies will be the only team left out, to be honest.
Right. So
yeah, we shall
see. We
shall see, right? Well, I think that's just gonna about do it for tonight's show, man. We're not getting we got no viewers on. It's just me and you talking at this point. So why don't I'm just gonna wrap it up then, because it seems like there's no real interest tonight. So Lou, thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining me for a little bit. It's been real. For everybody else out there.
Hey, if you get a chance, you can call my show next week. The Hand Sports Show. We're on 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember to call us 512-543-4662. Remember again, 512-543-4662. All calls are welcome.
All right, man. We'll look out for that. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Have a good one.